I ain't seen you in so long. How are you?
I good. I just come here to open this account to put this money from this rent that I collecting for this little house for my sister. So I'm really hoping it don't take too long.
I hope you have on comfortable shoes. Trying to open a bank account in this day and age is murder.
Well, I call and they tell me that I need 2 forms of ID, a job letter, and proof of address from a utility bill, and then I gotta fill out some forms too.
I went through the same thing last year. Trust me, the only thing they don't want is your blood type. But I would like to know why. I would like somebody to explain to me why.
Well, it has to do with something called AML, CFT, and other international guidelines.
Now you say so. I heard that on the call-in program. They mentioned AML, CFT, and they also talked about KYC, PF, and PEP. It was a whole alphabet soup. But you know what they're talking about. You can explain that to me.
I have an idea. It could be quite daunting. So, AML, anti-money laundering. CFT, combating finance and terrorism. You mentioned PEP. This is politically exposed persons. And all this have to do with the risk profile of the customers. So, person politically connected apparently supposed to be more risky. They got PF, preferential financing. They're really looking at finance outflows to weapons of mass destruction and finance and those sort of things. And probably one you mentioned too was KYC. Know your customer. That is where the bank's supposed to know the customer dealing with, the source of funds, everything like that. So these are all international guidelines, rules that Barbados must comply with in order to us not to be blacklisted. And blacklisting is bad because then our local banks, the banks say they will lose what we call correspondent banking. So for our local banks that would then lose their relationship with international banks because they want to deal locally. So these are international guidelines that the banks must adhere to. And they're all supposed to, not that it is, but it's supposed to avoid suspicious activity.
Well, fair enough, but I already have an account here, so why do I have to go through all of this again?
Well, truth be told, financial institutions need to be able to reconfirm your ID and things about you periodically. You might get married, change your address, etc. But if they have up-to-date information, recent information, then you wouldn't expect that they'll want the same information to open an account at the same bank. If you go to another bank, then that would be the case.
But what happens if someone wants to open an account but doesn't have the information they're asking for? My daughter just graduated from school. She doesn't have a passport nor a driver's license, just the ID card. She doesn't pay any bills. If I hadn't opened an account for her, how would she get one now?
That's a good question. So first let me explain something. A bank's effort to apply by these guidelines, they have a structure they look at. So the 2 basic pieces of information you need is the ID that provide the banks with all information, date of birth, etc., and some proof of address, like a utility bill or some other official letter coming to your address. Everything else after that, like source of funds, etc., your business, all that has to do with the risk profile, and the banks apply according to their own guidelines. So in your daughter's case, and in persons who now come out of school and don't have everything, the banks should have alternative ways to ensure that they comply while giving you a bank account. In this case, your daughter have ID, because she have that from the time she was a little girl. And it's sufficient for you as a parent to sign a letter saying she resides with you. And that should be enough for any bank to open an account. As she starts to work and gain some money, the bank will probably want more information, job letters, to confirm the flow of funds, etc. So those basic things will be in place.
Well, you're making sense. I don't know how you get in our conversation, but
No, she said that.
I'm glad you did, because I understand this a lot better.
Yeah.
But how you know all of this? You's a banker?
Ladies, have a wonderful and blessed day. I hope you're no longer going to do my business. Chief, I here for my money.